What's up, guys? Scott and Marcus here. We're talking football, and we're going to talk about the New England Patriots right now. Because for the first time in a couple of years, I finally have something to be excited about. I'm shocked, and I put out in the podcast this last week where I think my thing, as much as Vrabel has been like a great influence and like you see him after the games, like he waits outside the locker room and shakes every single player's hand as they come in, win or lose. Like he's hugging guys, he's high fiving guys. Like he's like one of the guys, right? And in preseason, didn't he get in like a fight? He got into the middle of a fight and got like a cut on his face or his nose or something. And he's just showing like he's getting down and dirty. So like the players love the guy. He's got great energy and everything. But I think what people aren't talking about enough is like really the best decision. I think this was my take this week. The best decision I think he made was actually bringing Josh McDaniel back to be the guy to show Drake May how to play quarterback in this league because, he did spend 16 years with Brady either as his quarterback's coach and then the offensive coordinator. And then like he left and came back and became the offensive coordinator. And, he was really the co-chef of the offense when he was there. And as great as Brady was, I think it was the relationship between Brady and McDaniels breaking down and game planning that really was the key to, and Brady's exceptional talent. But I think the Josh McDaniels thing, and I like made a meme of like using the old Drake and Josh show from Nickelodeon, and I put like Josh McDaniels' face and Drake May's face on Drake and Josh from the poster from the Nickelodeon show. But I think like the Drake and Josh show in New England is really the best show in the NFL, at least in the last 4 or 5 weeks. And they're definitely getting better and better each week. And the thing about May, as it was with Brady at the time, is like he's not making stupid decisions and throwing the ball into coverage. Like he's taking the sack and he's throwing it away and they're spreading it around. There's not really one guy like, in Minnesota, it's like, oh, Justin Jefferson. And if they like they've been doing in Minnesota, they've been covering up Jefferson and he hasn't been doing anything and they're losing. But with the Patriots, it's Stephon Diggs one week, it's Mac Hollins one week, it's Hunter Henry one week, it's Travion Henderson the last 2 weeks. Thanks to injuries to other running backs, he's finally getting a chance.
He went
But it's
off
like
this past
you
week.
can't like zero in on one guy. So that's the thing that I'm excited about is really like Drake May getting coached by probably one of the best offensive coordinators in the NFL currently, and probably, looking back at his track record, you got to give the guy credit. He knows how to call an offensive game. He can't head coach worth a damn, but he should stay in his lane, be the offensive coordinator, turn Drake May into, Tom Brady light, and get a couple more wins, and maybe a Super Bowl in a year or two. I don't know. I'm not going to get ahead of myself and think they're doing anything past winning the division at this point. And Buffalo's still relevant, you know. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself and like start like sewing up a gold jacket for Drake May's Hall of Fame career. It's just like a good season. I mean, Mac Jones had a good season and he's now in San Francisco. So it's just one season. So let's everybody calm down a little bit. I mean, I'm excited, but I'm going to calm down a little bit. Sorry, I ran on there for like 10 minutes, but I finally get to talk about the Patriots to you. And I had a lot to say. Sorry. Go ahead. What do you
Yeah,
think about what's going on up there?
I mean, it's just like, poor Patriots fans, man. That's what a hard stretch of time, 4 years without making it past the wild card round. It's heartbreaking.
Oh,
But
listen, I'm a fan for a long time. There's a lot longer than, we had a good 19, 20-year run there where they were always relevant. But before that, it was a crap show, except for a couple of Super Bowl appearances where they got smoked twice by the Packers and the Bears. But anyway, I just want to put history. In fact, you haven't been around on the
well,
planet that
yeah,
long.
but they got so many good years with Brady, a decent year with Mac Jones. they just dominated. And then it's like you get the Chiefs dynasty started, and it's like, oh God, please, someone else, anyone else. A lot of people hoping the Eagles, not me as a Giants fan, but
All right, there
then
was
it's looking,
Patriots fatigue, right? So, and now there's Chiefs fatigue, but now the
but then
Patriots,
it's looking like, oh wow, the Patriots might be on a roll again. Statistically, Drake May, I think, is playing better than Brady up to that point. Now, you could argue about it's a different game now. You could argue he had better wide receivers than Brady started off with, pre Gronk and Randy Moss and Wes Welker.
don't forget Julian Edelman.
Oh, yeah, Edelman, too, of course, Super Bowl MVP. I don't know. I like Drake May. He's a quarterback who I would have liked the Giants to have too. Obviously prior to getting Jackson Dart. I'm excited to see what they do. I would hope to not have another 20 years of Patriots AFC
He's
Conference Championships.
23. He's 23 and he's already won 9 games. And he had what 8 games in a row with a quarterback rating over 100, which like only they showed a stat the other day and it was like, you know, Dan Marino, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, like all these Hall of Fame guys have only been the guys who've done that, and like one offshoot of like Kyle Orton from the Bears, who like you'd be like, who? You don't nobody remembers Kyle Orton, but it's like all the guys on the list besides Kyle Orton were like Hall of Famers and Drake May. So it's impressive, but again, like I said before, it's like I'm gonna calm down. I'm not gonna get ahead of it. Anything could happen. It could keep going well, and they do have an easy schedule, but they sucked, so they should have an easier schedule the next year, which is why back to the Giants for a second. Having the schedule they had is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
and the amount of BS calls that are called on the Giants or not called against the team the Giants are playing, which I think is just them giving the benefit of the doubt to the opposing, team because the Giants are so bad and expected to be so bad. But it's just like everything is just spitting in the face of the Giants this season. Whether it's the schedule before it started, losing your star running back, losing your up and coming star quarterback, losing your all star wide receiver. The list goes on.
Sorry, I
But
didn't mean to pick that scab and get you upset again. I just was just saying, like, there was a whole controversy last week where they asked Vrabel in press conference about his, the easy schedule. And it's like, but you don't know who's going to be good. Like some of the teams that the Patriots beating that are quote unquote bad this year were expected to be good. And they had injuries and they don't have their starters. So, yeah, so they're not good and it's easy. But if those guys were healthy, might not be 9-2 as they are, but like they beat Tampa Bay, who's a really good team, and probably they're going to be a playoff team. Probably win their division and have a shot at the Super Bowl. They've got stars. They're going to get Mike Evans back, so they beat Tampa Bay. They should get credit for that. They
oh
beat the
yeah,
Bills when the Bills were earlier in the season when the Bills were rolling. They beat the Bills. That's a good quality win. The Bills have struggled since then. So give them a little credit.
oh yeah,
And they did make a bunch of pickups where they picked up a bunch of guys and free agents and spent a lot of money finally for like the first time in 20 years. They actually spent money on free agents to bring somebody in good. I wish they
yeah.
would have I mean, Stephon Diggs is now starting to play well, but like, he was recovering from an injury and he used to be like a stud wide receiver, especially up in when he was in Buffalo with Josh Allen. But like, he took 4 or 5 games to start being relevant. It was the Bills game that he like decided I'm back, and but then he disappeared again. And again, like one week it's Matt Collins as the leading receiver, one week it's Stephon Diggs, and then it's Booty who's hurt. So like Booty's hurt, and now Diggs stepped up this past Thursday against the Jets, which I have to say I was terrified after that first drive. when the Jets came down the field
Oh,
and just
that.
stepped on their throats and like went right. And I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be, sorry for cursing, but I was like, oh shit, this is the trap game. I was thinking like, oh, this is a trap game. The Jets are
And
coming
it
in. The
was
Jets
a
suck.
lot closer than I thought it would be.
I mean, but the Jet, thankfully, I mean, I'm a huge Justin Fields fan, and I'm like, I feel real bad for him that he's struggling so bad right now. But that offensive line of the Jets is not good.
We got the butt
Garrett
fumble
Wilson is
2.0.
not. Yeah, Garrett Wilson is not healthy. Uh, it's just not. There's issues there. You don't have your favorite receiver. You don't. Brees Hall. Thankfully, they didn't trade him for the Jets because I like Brees Hall a lot. I think
Oh
he's
yeah.
really good. And wherever he lands next year, because I don't think is going to be with the Jets. Although, who are they going to get that's better than Brees Hall? Honestly, nobody. I was laughing just to talk about the Jets for a second when they traded Sauce Gardner, they traded Quinnen Williams, and then they win. You're like, what are you doing? You're tanking for the draft. Like, why are you going and effing it up and winning a game? So they got back on the get a better draft choice track by losing to the Patriots on Thursday. But I think that's more so about that's they lost because the Patriots made adjustments and did what good teams do. Like that first drive was so easy. Like the Patriots didn't really show up till like 5-10 minutes into that game because the Jets they just ran down that field and I did have an oh shit moment. I was like screaming here watching the game and I was like, oh, this is the trap game. I knew it. Like this is one of those games you overlook them because of their record and all of the turmoil with the trades. But I don't know. What was your did you watch the whole game on Thursday?
Yeah. Well, I watched like 90% of it. I had to work at like 5 in the morning the next day, so I didn't
So you
quite
didn't see the
see.
end, but
I didn't see
by
the
that time it
ending,
was
but I
over.
I rewatched the highlights, and the YouTube TV replay in the morning. Uh, it was a decent game. I think it could have been a trap game, not just based on the first drive. Um, obviously the Patriots pulled their distance, kind of were dominating the game, but the Jets had a chance. I mean, obviously, anyone has a chance to win any game. Obviously, Giants letting up 33 points in the fourth quarter is an example of that. But
Yeah.
uh, I just think they need to lose and get better for next year. Get what's his name, the Ohio State receiver,
Smith.
Smith.
I
Yeah,
like that kid.
get
I
him
can't
up
wait
there
to
with
draft him
Garrett
in
Wilson.
fantasy.
Yeah, but then again, the thing is, and not that Justin Fields is the sole issue, but he's not a tried and true passing quarterback, and he has elite receivers around him, and he still doesn't have great passing
That's the
stats.
thing that's so confusing. I don't get it. Like I don't get what's going on. Like I
But the
think on
team, it just
Thursday
looks,
they were
they
saying like
look,
he's holding the ball. Like they were pointing out like look there he held it and then he threw it a little late. So then by that time, the defender had a chance to close and break it up, or he
yeah.
threw it, he had to throw it
Well,
and it was incomplete, or you know, there's
it
bad
should,
snaps and he had to fumble. They had that fumble that they lost. It's like that's not his fault. The guy, the center throws it at his feet. Like what's that guy supposed to do? I'm
no,
not going to
yeah,
sit here and defend Justin Fields, but I think he's better than his stats are showing this
yeah.
year.
I
And maybe
mean,
I'm wrong. What do I know? But I think that guy's talented. And what he did in Pittsburgh last year in the beginning, right? It was like, why are they letting Russell Wilson play? They're 5-1. Like, why did they let Russell Wilson get behind the wheel and drive that Steelers truck into the guardrail? Like, and I mean, at least the one good thing the Giants did this year was get out of Russell Wilson soon, as soon as they
yeah,
could.
yeah.
Anyway, let's
It's
not get back on the Giants. We spent a half an hour last time talking about them, but
yeah. I
I
got
don't
to go to
know.
bed soon.
I know the Patriots. The Patriots are looking good. They're like, I mean, at least until the Colts play again, they're the number one team in the AFC. The the Broncos are also 8-2. So there's a bunch of teams up there right at the same record. So it's getting kind of interesting. What was your take? You're a big uniform guy. You always your whole life loved uniforms. What did you think
Yeah.
of the new Patriots like storm uniforms, whatever? I like
You
the
know,
helmets.
yes, but these city edition uniforms, I feel like should stay as merch and not necessarily be on the NFL field. Um, I would have, especially with the Jets, the Jaguars, like a lot of the Buccaneers, a lot of these teams trending back towards primarily wearing their throwback uniforms. I would have much preferred to see in a legacy matchup game the Pats just have the old
The
red
red, white, and
jerseys,
blue
white.
with
Yeah,
Pat Patriot with his hand down. You know,
yeah, that's what I personally would have if I was the, marketing coordinator for the game or whatever position decides that. I would personally do throwback and throwback. And, I do really like the Patriots jerseys. I personally would redesign them, keep the same template, red jerseys, white helmets or light gray instead of the darker silver, and keep the new logo to kind of combine the old with the new. But I guess
so the new logo with like the old white helmet with the stripes.
I'm almost positive if you Google concept art for Patriots uniform, you could find something describing what I did. And if not, plug it into Chat GPT and I'm sure it could figure it out too. But
That seems like maybe what they did for these uniforms. I did like the white helmets with the blue, the blue logos, but the
it was
jerseys,
cool.
I don't know.
It would have looked
I don't know.
much nicer if it
Maybe
was
if I
snowing.
got one for Christmas or something, I might like it better. I don't know. Just saying.
Yeah, they're all right. It's cool. At least the Patriots are doing something new and different, which I guess they technically did change uniforms under Belichick, but I feel like he
What was
was.
Parcells actually brought that logo in, the one that they currently have, and that.
But they had like the cartoonish royal blue jerseys with the shoulder pad logos
Mhm.
up, and still in like the early two
That was
thousands, I think.
Parcells, and then they modified it. The one I liked was the one they had it last year with the dark blue with the red and white shoulder stripes to
What was
match
that?
up with like the old helmet, and it was like you know what I'm talking about. I have the jersey, the blue, the red, white,
The
and
color rush
blue.
one.
Yeah, the color was one, but the
But
dark
is
navy
that
blue with the
not
red and white
their
shoulder.
is that not their uniform? Is that not just their main uniform now?
Anyway, I don't want to get off track, but like the ones this week, I don't know. I like the helmet. I had a rant on the Steelers uniform. I put up a video when the Steelers on I think it was the Monday night game,
I love those
the
yellow
one against
helmets.
the Bengals when they wore those yellow black like weird. It looked like a soccer jersey to me. I like the yellow helmet. They should keep the yellow helmet. But that
100%. Make that
jersey
the main
front, like
helmet.
someone gave a comment that they liked it. They're like, oh well, I like it. To each his own. But you're a big you like love all these different uniforms. What was your take on the Steelers uniform?
Well, it does. I can't remember exactly what year or era, but being as someone who's played Madden a bunch and probably played every uniform combo, there is a throwback jersey with that similar soccer jersey, like leather interstitched pattern on the sweater, probably like 19, whatever the first year of the Steelers was. Um, so it is a modern rendition of that. However, that was played in leather helmets. So having their 19, I think 60s or 70s where they wore the yellow helmet for a little bit, at least as an alternate. It's a little weird, but I love the helmets. Like I would love to have one of those, and I'm not
Yeah,
even a
I
Steelers
wouldn't mind
fan.
having one of those yellow Steelers helmets sitting on the shelf behind me here. Um, what
But
speaking of the leather
but
helmets, the throwback uniforms this year that I did like were the Packers ones that they wore just like I think a week ago, where their helmets were painted to look like the leather helmets, and then they had the navy tops with the brown pants, which I heard them say that like that was the uniform look before Vince Lombardi came in, and Vince Lombardi's the one who
Mm.
made him into the green and yellow with the G on the helmet. But I thought the helmets being painted like the old leather strap helmets, and I really liked the Packers. That was my favorite one so far of the season that I've seen of these throwback uniforms. Like the Steelers was my least favorite. The Chargers, all yellows that you could see from space, where they look like a bunch of highlighter pens running around. That I wasn't a fan of that. I like have the yellow tops and blue pants, or the yellow pants and a blue top, but all yellow, that was like too much. I was
Well,
like
they
watching some of these NBA this in season tournament thing, the courts painted like last
oh
night.
yeah.
Like I watched. I mean, this is a football podcast, but sorry, this is all about colors and weird things. But the Minnesota Timberwolves floor being like neon highlighter green, no joke. I was watching the highlights on the Sports Center this morning, and I got a headache when that court came on the screen. So like I felt the same way with the Chargers uniforms where they were all
They didn't
yellow.
learn from the Rams color rush uniforms from
I don't
when they
know.
first moved back to LA, where it's just, mustard packets. The whole, or
Oh,
no, the mustard packet was the Jaguars, but I guess they were still yellow mustard packet, with like the
well, the
black
Rams are going to have
helmets.
one with like black and blue with blue highlights and yellow, but it's going
Yeah,
to
I
be
saw
mostly black with
that.
yellow
I
lettering.
saw
I saw the
the
photos on Instagram.
Dolphins one. Actually, I really liked, because I feel like, I don't know. It seemed more right than some of these other city edition, or whatever the official name for it with the NFL is.
Rivalries this
The
year. It's called
rivalry
rivalry.
edition, I guess, is it gives you that Miami Vice vibe, and also matches the
I don't see
Marlins
them. I'll have to look that up.
uniforms.
Maybe I'll throw a picture. I'll look it up and throw a picture up here since we're talking about it.
Yeah, it's not as neon and colorful, but you're getting the turquoise, you're getting the orange, and
Is there
the
like
white and
pink
black.
involved or anything?
I don't think so.
Because
I
that's
think
like
it's
to
just,
me, Miami Vice would have like a little bit of a pink tinge to it.
yeah, I guess that would be the pinkish orange color. But regardless, it matches the Marlins. It looks like it belongs, even though it's a contrast to their typical, like, super, I don't know, I guess cute uniforms. Like, they're not
Mm.
intimidating, tough uniforms. They're nice. They're beautiful colors, classic design, even though they changed the dolphin a little bit.
Oh,
But
it probably went to the older Dolphin because the older Dolphin used to like the logos when I was a kid. Like the Dolphin on the helmet was wearing a helmet
yeah, no, they
with like
don't
an
have
emblem.
that
They
anymore.
don't have that.
No, that's their
I haven't
throwbacks.
seen the I haven't I have to look it up. Well, I'll throw an image up here so everybody can see what you're talking about because I don't actually don't know that one.
But
I
those were nice uniforms. Uh,
I like the Broncos ones, but that's like what the Broncos used to wear when I was a kid, like their Orange
well,
Crush
they've been
throwbacks.
they've been using those as, I feel like, an alternate for the past season or two now, and I feel like it every once in a while made like a
They've
comeback
had
back
that
in the
thing where
day.
they went all orange too, like in the past couple of seasons where they would wear those old helmets with the D and the horse in it, and then they'd be in all orange. But somehow that wasn't as offensive to me as the all yellow Chargers. But the
Orange
Steelers jersey
works.
still my worst. I wish they brought the bumblebees back for the Steelers. Honestly, I didn't like those either, but I like them much
I
better
would
than the ones they wore.
honestly say, make it more basic, but just have it be a Steelers jersey that's yellow. Nothing wrong with an inverse alternate jersey.
I like the ones when the Steelers were like the all black with like the bold yellow and then the big yellow stripe down their
Yeah, that was
pants.
their color
Like that
rush
looks
pant or
yeah, those were
uniforms.
nice. Where are those?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think
They're
they're
just
really
trying to
trying to
get
roll
money
this
out of
out.
us.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a thing. That was
that's
my
why
thing. It's like if you're
be
gonna try to get money out of me, make something that I want to wear. Like I don't.
yeah,
And it
and
should at least, at least the Steelers, I'll give them credit. They stayed with their colors of black and yellow, where the Patriots
yeah,
went into this soft blue, like
like gray almost.
yeah, like a ice. It looked like the Buffalo Bills ones, those the ones they wore against the Patriots and the Patriots beat them, those ice ones with they had the silver buffaloes on the helmet, like
Oh, those may have
those
been
look
the worst
nice.
ones.
You didn't
Really,
like those?
they looked clean, but part of the Buffalo Bills have one of my favorite uniforms in the entire NFL,
As
and
is.
depleting it, yes, any combo of them, away, home, white pants, white jersey, blue jersey, color rush jersey, one of my favorite uniforms in the NFL always has been. Um, it's like the Giants, but with a cooler helmet.
See, I do like the Giants when
um,
they brought back the uniforms the last couple of weeks that they wore last week in Chicago with the word Giants on the helmet. Like that's the
yeah,
helmets that when Parcells was there and they're winning Super Bowls, like that's the uniforms that were there. Like that to me, I really like the Giants with the NY on the helmet because that's what it was when I was first learning about football. And then they changed it to the one with the Giants, and I got used to that, and I liked it because they won. So when I've seen them wearing them, whenever they put those on, back when even when Saquon was in that uniform with the Giant, I loved it, and like seeing Jackson Dart running around before he got knocked out of the game on Sunday in that uniform, I was like, yeah, that's the Giants uniforms. Like they should bring that back as the regular uniform,
the
or at least
jerseys are
like
boring.
at home it should be
The
Giants, and then when they're on the road it should be the NY. That's what I think. Like if like make a home helmet and an away helmet. That would be my suggestion because I'd like to see those Giants uniforms again.
or even
It's
just
nostalgia for me.
keeping both. I think, add some depth to the uniform. We have a boring uniform, and we've reduced it every year since the first, or not the first Super Bowl, but the first Manning Super Bowl, because
Didn't they have red jerseys one year
we had
too?
the alternate red jerseys in like 2002 or 2003 or something, but then they had the red stripes in the pants. I think in that first
That goes
Super
back.
Bowl.
That those red striped pants go back like to old timey like.
Oh yeah, but they had those and then they got rid of them. And then it's like, oh, just little pinstripes down the side. And then it's, take any logos and, red, I guess, straps, whatever, from the jersey. And it's just the most basic uniform you could possibly imagine, which, it's beautiful colors, but Giants, I feel like that should be part of the unleashing a new team next year is unleash some new uniforms, which the right choice would be old uniforms.
Yeah, like Tampa Bay, like when they bring back the Tampa Bay wears the creamsicle ones with the Cavalier guy on the helmet. Like that's what they broke into the league with those uniforms, and it's like, oh, it's always. I remember back then it was like, oh, those are kind of weird, but you got used to them, and then I really like the switch to the uniforms they have now with the pewter. I really like those helmets that the
Mm.
Buccaneers have now. Like really
That's
like
another one
those
of my
helmets.
favorite uniforms in the league.
But when they wear those creamsicles, it's like, oh, that's a nice uniform. They should wear that more often. So like some of them, when they're bringing them back, they're bringing back things that were already their old. They're just throwbacks. They're not really like a
Oh
redesign.
yeah,
But these redesign ones, like with the Patriots and with the Chargers, were doing. And I don't think the Steelers was a redesign. That was like more of trying of a throwback to one of their
yeah.
uniforms they wore. But it's, I don't know. I don't know. Some teams don't do it at all. They don't have anything. Like what are the Browns doing? I guess they do like the white helmets, right? And
They have the alternate like all white ones. Same thing with the Bengals. Um,
oh, the
they
I like the
also
Bengals when they have the white helmets with the black stripes. That's
yeah.
a cool look.
But what did the Brown? The Browns have, I guess they have the orange letters on the brown jersey with the orange stripes on the pants as an
Yeah,
alternate.
they don't really do. They
Oh
don't
no,
really
and
do.
they have full brown uniforms this year too. The helmet's brown.
Did they with an orange stripe?
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta look that up. Did they wear that this year? Did I just
Yeah,
not
that was
clock
like
that? Did I just, it just went by
I
me? It didn't,
feel like
well,
they
I guess
wore
it
that
didn't
in like
offend me. So,
against the Jets, maybe.
oh, like 2 weeks ago
Yeah, or
in week 9.
or
Yeah, I think
I
you're
think
right.
maybe
They were in all round. Yeah, but they didn't do anything that was like crazy. Like you're like, oh, like I can't look at that, you know?
no. Well, they are the Cleveland Browns. That does it alone.
But I would like the Bengals to bring back when I was young, they used to say Bengals. It just used to say the word. It was an orange helmet and it said Bengals on the side. They should throw those in once in a while. So old folks like me can go like, oh yeah, I remember that. People might buy that. And it said Bengals. I know what it is. It's not. I'm still
Well, they
gonna
had to
go with my
differentiate because they
favorite.
had the same uniforms as the Browns and were basically the
Well, they
same
were owned
team.
by the same guy. The guy ran both, and the guy who was the Browns owner, like left and then started the Bengals, and he just had the same colors just to be like a big fu to, them for getting rid of him, and you know he stayed in the same state and was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna get rid of me as the Browns. Well, I'm gonna go start the Bengals," and the that same family still owns the Bengals to this day. So anyway, I don't know. I just figured you're a uniform guy. This has been so many throwbacks this year. I just wanted to get your take on some of the things. Like
Uh,
so you're not as offended by the Steelers uniforms as I was, and I seem based on comments we got on the video that I posted, I might be alone that I hated those uniforms, but they really
I
caught me off
mean,
guard.
it's not. They're not good, but I love the helmet and I don't
The
know
helmet I
black.
loved. I agree.
Yellow and black, not just black and yellow. I know that's the song, I know that's the colors, but yellow and black, whether that's on a sports car, yellow car, black race stripes, uniform, like it just aesthetically, even though the design itself didn't do
Well, what if we
anything for
bring those
me,
yellow helmets with the color rush ones that I was talking about, the all black
that's
with the bold yellow?
every single time I use the Steelers in Madden, that's the combo I use.
That
The
would
1970s helmet, yellow helmet, color rush jersey.
see,
Beautiful.
like I like those all black with the really bold yellow uniforms, and
Oh
it's not
yeah.
busy and doesn't have anything else, but it looks really nice. Like I would wear one of those. They look really nice just because they just do. And I think maybe with the yellow helmet that they wore in that uniform that I disliked, that might be a good combo. Steelers, take note. Let's see that on the field this year. Tell Mike Tomlin to put those uniforms on.
One last thing. Now this would be a crazy scenario, but let's say things don't work out well in Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
They get rid of Tomlin. Does he get a chance to coach New York?
I like your Gruden suggestion the last time we talked. I totally forgot John Gruden, but Tomlin, I mean, the guy always wins at least 9 or 10 games every year, and they always somehow make the playoffs. And that's the problem is going to be. The Steelers are not going to win the Super Bowl, but they're probably going to win enough games to make the playoffs, and then he's going to keep his job. Do you know what I mean? Because he's a good
Yeah.
guy. The players seem to like him. I mean, even Aaron Rodgers, who's like a curmudgeon, dislikes everybody. He didn't come in and tell Tomlin how to run things. Like, it's the one place since he left Green Bay that he didn't come in and try to turn over the roster to bring all his friends in. Rodgers actually just came in and said, "Okay, I'll do it your way." And, they were doing well for a while, but the last couple of games they've stunk it up a little bit. But like, I don't know. Tomlin's that kind of guy. He's a good character guy. I don't know that the Steelers are going to just let him go. Like they might have to, maybe they'd have to make a trade like they've done in the past when to get a coach, they trade a draft pick or something to allow them to talk and sign a coach that they don't really want to trade. So maybe I don't know that the Giants would do that though. I don't know that the Giants. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? I mean, the Steelers could wind up losing every single game the rest of the way, and Aaron Rodgers rides off into the sunset. I don't know. I don't know. Tomlin would be. He would be a good coach. He's gonna get them 10 wins. He gets 10 wins every year. He just doesn't. They haven't won a playoff game in years. Which, if I'm in Pittsburgh, we should get Tony or Mike Chappie on here. We should get their take on what they think of Mike Tomlin's future with the Steelers. I know that Michael Chappie is not happy with Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback, and probably especially now that they've been losing the last couple of games.
Hey, Will Howard will play by the last week, I think. I
Yeah,
I don't I
isn't
don't
he hurt? Wasn't he hurt, Will Howard?
he might be, but I still it doesn't not that that doesn't matter, but I don't think it matters in the scheme of who's starting week to week. I think it's Aaron Rodgers. They got Mason Rudolph, who's done it before and, wasn't great, but still was part of a winning record team. But I think Will Howard will, if he's healthy and good to go, will play like, the second half at least of the last game of the season, especially if they're up big or losing big.
They
Just
should
to,
see what they got, especially if they're not going to make the playoffs for some reason, or it's already they're locked in and it doesn't affect their playoff rush. All right, you're going to fall asleep, so we could talk forever, but you
been
got to go to
too
work
long.
tomorrow.
That's why I haven't been on this podcast.
I know. I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you giving me some time. I appreciate you talking football and uniforms, and thanks for letting me ramble on about my Patriots because I don't have anybody to talk to about that in Pennsylvania here. Not too many Patriots fans around here. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks, Marcus, for coming in and talking with me. People who've watched our first few podcasts have been wondering where you are. So here he is. He's here, folks. He'll be back. We'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy your football.